Hello and welcome to another of Mrs. C's Maths Lessons. Wow, welcome back. I thought we would do a third lesson, lesson number 3, on pie charts, because having looked at what the government expect you to know about these pie charts, I just felt we needed to go into it a little bit more. Right, so we are intending to learn pie charts 3, learning intention. Put it on your piece of paper or in your maths book, and let's have a look at this question, which is based on one of the Year 6 SATs questions. Okay, so this is an official kind of level of question that you would be asked. So we've got 3 charts here. This one, the first chart or graph if you like, is pupils in class 6. 3/4 of them are girls. So I guess that means the rest are boys. I don't think they've got any dogs in there. And then this here is the same class. So this is the pupils in class 6, and this is a chart for the girls in class 6. And 11-year-olds, there are, how many? What percentage are 11? Half, 50%, yeah? 50% are 11, and this side is not 11-year-olds. So so half the girls in class 6 are 11. So let's have a think. Let's look at what it's asking us to do and then see how we can try to tie these together. So this is going to be now a pie chart to show the pupils in class 6. So we now need to mark, and what the question is asking us to do is mark on the amount of 11-year-old girls and then all the other pupils. So we know that in class 6, 3/4 of the pupils are girls, and half of those 3/4 are 11-year-old. So how are we going to put that onto there? Half of 3/4. You might be able to see it already, okay? Half of 3/4, you could work out half of something with fractions. If it's half of, you times it, don't you? So you do half times 3/4 to work that out. So let's see how that pans out. 1 times 3 is 3, and 2 4s are 8. So 3/8 of the whole class are 11-year-old girls. Half of 3/4 is 3/8, okay? Let's have a look at it more visually. So these are the girls in the class. Half of them are 11 years old. So if we just half that 3/4, and let's see what we've marked this around here, haven't we? This is 1/4, and that is half of 1/4, isn't it? So this is actually eighths. These little marks all the way round this pie chart here are eighths. So if we'd have 8, this pie would be split into 8 if we drew them all up. So we have halved this 3/4, and let's count how many eighths we've got. 1, 2, 3. 3/8. Half of 3/4 is 3/8. So now we've got the final pie chart. What we need to do is we've got the eighths marked out on this pie chart. So we need to do 1, 2, 3 of them. 3 out of the 8. Okay, it's half of 3/4. 3 out of the 8. So let's show how many out of the whole of class 6 are 11-year-old girls. Half of the 3/4. 3/8. Back in a minute with another question. Phew, you've got to concentrate hard with these pie charts. Here we are back with another one, which is an example of a SATs level question, one that you would find in that Year 6 SATs paper. Okay, so this pie chart is going to show a survey of soup choices, okay? So the soup choices were tomato, chicken and mushroom. And all that we know is that 1/4 of the people chose chicken. quarter of the people chose chicken. So I've written that into my, my pie chart. The other thing we know is 4 times as many chose tomato than mushroom. So 4 times as many chose tomato over mushroom. Okay. So let's have a think about that. That is quite tricky, isn't it? Because what it's asking us to do is find the angle that we would write on here to show the tomato sector of this pie chart. What do we know? We know that quarter chose chicken, and we know that the rest chose 4 times as many chose tomato as mushroom between the rest of this pie chart. So I think we're going to have to look at it in terms of angles, aren't we? Out of a whole circle, there's 360. Quarter of 360 is that right angle, isn't it? A right angle is 90 degrees. So let's look at what's left to share between the tomato and the mushroom, okay? So 90, 360 the whole round. So 360, take away 90 to work out what degrees we've got left to share the tomato and the mushroom between, okay? 0, so you be doing that sum, I'll be doing that sum, and that is 70, 270 degrees, okay? So the whole of the rest of that circle is 270 degrees, the whole rest of that pie chart. So we have got 4 times as many, so 4T chose tomato. Do a bit of algebra in with this. And then there's 1 lot of mushroom, isn't there? So 1T is mushroom. How many portions have we got to get between these 270 degrees? 4 lots of tomato and 1 lot of mushroom. So this sector here needs to be shared between how many lots of T? 4 add 1 is 5. So 5 equal T's, really. 4 lots of tomato and 1 lot of mushroom. Would you agree? Right, so if we know that this 270 has got to be shared equally into 5, what sum are we going to do? Division. Okay, pause the video, do that sum. Right, so that was, so each T, each portion if you like, each sector, 4 add 1 is 5, 5's into the 270 degrees that we've got left is 54 degrees each. So 4 times as many people chose tomato, 1 portion is 54. How many are you going to find out chose tomato? It's going to be 4 lots of 54. Would you agree? And then finally, to work out the angle, oh, is it tomato soup? Oh yeah, that's all you need to do, 54 times 4. What about, and the mushroom soup is 1, so the mushroom soup is 54 degrees, isn't it? So that sector is going to be 54 degrees. And your tomato is 54 times 4. Let's do it together. Go on, you go firing off ahead. See if you can beat me. 4 4s, 5 4s are 20. 216. So your tomato soup, that's your answer. What is the angle for the tomato soup? 216 degrees. You don't need to put it on. It doesn't ask you to put it on. It just asks you to work out what is the angle. And there it is. Quite tricky. I think we'll do another couple of those. I'll set them on the board. I'll talk them through and then we will leave them and do the answers for them tomorrow. Back with you in a minute. Wow, okay, here we are back. I ran out of room on my whiteboard to write these down. They're quite complicated. 2 SATS level questions for you here. Just going to go through them and then leave you and then you can work out the answers for tomorrow. Good luck, right? So the first graph is showing 32 children represented here and they're taking part in a potato survey. Different ways that they like to have their potatoes cooked, okay? So if the graph is 32 children and we've got it here split into eighths. Can you see? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's eighths marked off. 8's into 32. What is each eighth going to be worth? You need to look at what you know. So that eighth there, how many children is that? If there's 8 altogether, 8 pieces, what is that 1/8 going to represent? 8's into 32. So you need to go down these statements and put a cross or a tick to show if they are true or false. 10 children like chips, and it goes through, okay? So you need to pause the video and look, knowing what you know about how much each eighth of this pie chart is worth in children, okay? Right then, question 2 is showing games that 2 teams played. This is the netball team and this is the football team, okay? So the netball players played 30 games. So this graph here is showing 30 games, okay? The football players played 24 games. You need to look at what you know to work out these questions, okay? It's not asking you to give an exact answer for this first bit. It's saying estimate the percentage of games the netball team lost. Think about what you know about what fraction, or what fraction of that pie does that lost represent as a fraction? Let me just do this. What does it look like? You're only estimating what does that fraction look like, and what is that of 30? Okay, the second part of the question. David says the teams won the same number of games. Is he correct? Now, it looks as though they both won half their games. Would you agree? But you need to look at how many games were played. And is half of 30 the same as half of 24? I'll leave it with you. Answers tomorrow. If you like what you see, like me, subscribe and turn on post notifications.